Alright, yo, what's up, guys? I'm finally back, and I'm actually going to be keeping a decent upload schedule.
We do not care.
Okay, I guess we may as well just get into the video then. If you do care, then I do plan to upload at least weekly or every other week.
We do not.
Shut up! But I feel like I'm not thanking you guys enough because 1.58 thousand subscribers is absurd. I actually never thought I was going to get this much, and I only thanked you guys once for this overwhelming support, so thank you. Let's see if we can reach 2,000, hopefully by the end of the month or by the end of next month. But with all that out of the way, let's talk about what you actually came here for. If you're anything like me, especially as of recent, you've probably been struggling with surviving in Pillar Chase 2. That's okay, because I've conjured up 5 tips that I've been using to help me survive in my games with Pillar Chase 2 to not only help me get more monster chance faster so I can play more killer, but also gain me more coins so I can buy new skins and new killers. Because these 5 tips, they obviously objectively made me the best person in this entire game. Nah, but realistically, these tips are only to help you to survive. They don't actually guarantee survival. It is also worth noting that these tips are coming from what personally helped me survive, because everybody may comprehend these tips in different ways. Some people may not find these helpful at all, and some people may find these extremely helpful, and it's all about comprehension. But enough yapping. The first tip I have to offer is utilizing upgrades. It's kind of surprising that this is one of the features that's kind of overlooked, because for 10 coins, these things can actually be really good. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's also those... Yeah, don't even bother buying Tanky or Greedy. They're useless. But there are quite a few perks that are actually very viable and extremely cheap. To name a few, Danger Vision is an extremely useful one because every time a survivor dies, the killer is exposed to you for a few seconds, and there is 0 drawbacks to this perk. You're just allowed to see the killer whenever somebody dies. And if you really want to try as hard as you can to think of a drawback to this perk, I guess the only drawback that there is to this perk is if the killer spawns next to you and you're the first one caught. But at that point, that's not an issue with the perk, that's just an issue of where you spawned. Clarity is also another really good perk to use. It clears up all the fog on the map, and it lets you see comparatively far to if you weren't to have the perk. The only issue, however, is that it doesn't let you see through the darkness, so you'll still need a flashlight in order to see far. But there are certain maps where you don't need the flashlight, and it's actually really handy. And Flimsy is one of those iffy perks now, because I have recommended Flimsy in the past. However, I feel like with the amount of times it's been used and the new killers coming out, it can get countered fairly easily, and it's kind of high risk, high reward gameplay. So if you want to use Flimsy, the option's there. It's actually not too bad, but again, high risk, high reward. It definitely is not beginner friendly perk. Moving on to the next. What?
Hey, can you just move out the way for a second?
Oh.
Yeah, Holly,
Okay.
just over there. Thanks. Hello, fellow pillar chasers. It is I, not James, and I have interrupted your holy video to advertise a masterpiece. That masterpiece being British Whist. And you might be wondering, what the hell is British Whist? British Whist is something that me and a lot of other people have been protesting to get into the game as an official skin, but we haven't really done much. So, we need your help. Screenshot this image and spread it across the community. Post it on the wiki, post it in the Discord, and send it to everyone you know and love. We need Blade to acknowledge the existence of British Whist, and eventually, Blade will give in and add him to the game. You can resume your video, Holy. I'm gonna eat some gobble bombs. Goodbye.
I have no idea how he just got in my house. As I was gonna say, our next tip is keeping track of your stamina. In the game, your base stamina without any upgrade modifications is gonna be 100. And the only thing that keeps the survivors from getting their booty cheeks decimated is the killer also having stamina. Stamina goes down in 2-tick intervals for both survivor and killer. The thing is, different killers have different speeds at which their stamina drains. If you're not in a chase, I suggest keeping your stamina at least above 70, because if you run into the killer and you're below 70 stamina, you best believe that you're most likely cooked. I'd also suggest keeping track of the killer's stamina, because if they're running towards you while you're in a certain place, they're going to generally have less stamina, and you're going to have more stamina so you can get away. And if you don't know how much stamina a killer has, you can literally just click on their info and you'll see it right there. Also, if the killer stops running mid-chase, you can probably infer that they're low on stamina, so that means you should probably stop running mid-chase as well in order to gain your stamina back so they don't have a stamina advantage on you. It's also worth noting that some killers have abilities that let them dash forward without using their stamina, so it's best to stop running yourself once you get out of the way of that attack so you can regain your stamina while they gain their stamina back as well. Also, last part for this section, don't let your stamina hit 0, because if you do, well, then this happens. Utilizing the item shop is another big thing that I actually haven't seen many people been doing. Items like flashlights and medkits are big game changers, with the flashlights letting you be able to see way further and the medkits literally healing you for a majority of your HP. Yes, these items spawn on the map, and that's kind of where the prepared perk comes in. If you want to bring that for some reason, then yeah, but if we're factoring out the perks, then you're not very likely to find a medkit or a ultra flashlight. But now let's factor in the item shop. What? You don't know where the item shop is? Okay, well, first of all, are you playing with your eyes closed? Second of all, let me show you where it is. All right, so from the main lobby, what you want to do is walk down these stairs and whoa, it's an item shop. I mean, look at these prices. These are actually like fairly cheap. Look at that, $22 for a flashbang. Look at that. A med kit is literally cheaper than a perk. Seven coins. Oh my god. So say you add up the money from upgrades and items from the item shop. Say you get 2 upgrades, clarity, danger vision, and you also get a med kit. That's 7 coins. That's 27 coins total that you're spending, which means you're still gaining 33 from each match. And say you max out on perks. You get 3 10-coin perks, and then you get an ultra flashlight and a med kit. And say after purchasing all that, you manage to win the match and get 60 coins. You're still making a 13 coin profit. And when you do survive, you still keep your perks. So I think you know where I'm going here. They're very cheap and very useful. So I'd suggest buying some items and see how it works out for you. Another important tip that I see a lot of people for some reason not doing whenever I play killer: keep track of the killer and stay away. I can't tell you how many times I've played killer and somebody has tried to do a task right next to me while I'm in a killing animation and then complain about targeting when I absolutely clap their cheek.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Okay, my bad. But you get my point. They complain about targeting or trash hitboxes because they decide to sit there and get a task done right in front of the killer because they think it's worth it. Newsflash, it's not worth it. I'd rather survive longer in the game and get that task done later in the game instead of dying right there and getting 20 coins. And you may be wondering, how do I keep track of the killer? Well, I mean, the killers are like 5 times bigger than you. I don't think it's too hard to keep track of them. But to not be sarcastic, most of the killers are actually pretty loud. I think the only really like silent killer is Jeff the Killer, and maybe PCX somewhat fits in that category, but he breathes really heavily for some reason. All right, we're on the final tip. Final home stretch. Hope you guys are still with me. If you've watched this far, then why don't you like and subscribe? My bad. I'm sorry. All right, but my final tip for you guys is to keep calm. I know that sounds kind of random, but like I've seen it a lot during chase with my friends or just with newer players. They tend to panic during chase after getting hit, and then they manage to get their stamina all the way to 0, and then they're just completely cooked. Keeping your composure and focusing on where you're gonna go next is extremely crucial because it helps out a crap ton and it makes things so much easier. And I don't necessarily mean specifically like a screaming and completely fearful way. I mean also in a way like, say you're tilting really hard, keeping your composure in a sense like that also really helps. I mean, technically this doesn't even apply to pillar chase specifically. This can be said for just about anything, to be honest. But with all that out of the way, that wraps up the 5 tips I have for you guys. Hopefully newcomers found this helpful. Hopefully other people found this helpful. And if you enjoyed this video, whether it be through the entertainment portion or the informative portion, why not drop a like and subscribe? And I don't plan to always drop informative videos. I do like to drop some entertaining videos despite the disgusting view ratio between them, because at the end of the day, my end goal isn't money or subscribers, it's entertainment. Okay, maybe subscribers is a little bit of my goal, but money is out of the picture. But with all that out of the way, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.